and I'm excited to dive in. This is our April product update webinar. It's gonna be me, then we have Turner as well, talking about the future as
Everyone,
well, which we're excited about. And then we've got Marissa. Marissa made all these slides, workshop these slides, invited all of you guys. So Marissa's in the background, kind of running the show here as well. So say hi to her too. And yeah, feel free to add, any note-taking tools in here as well. So first and foremost, Digio is a bootstrap business, no outside funding. And so this right here is everything to us, our new customers. Zero Shoes, honestly, check them out. Amazing shoes. They have a pickleball shoes. I'm a huge pickleball fan now. Cowboy pools, very cool. Affordable backyard pools, outdoorsy, rent your next RV. All of these customers mean so much to us that they trust us. And we love building campaigns for them. We love proving revenue for them. The lip bar, get your next lipstick from them. These are all the customers that joined us just recently in the last 30 to 60 days, and we're thrilled. Check out Bounce Scroll too. All of these clients mean everything to us, and without them, we don't exist. So everything we do, we think about clients, keeping them happy, making sure we're developing features that make them happy. So your feedback really resonates with us. If you guys tell us something, we talk about it internally. Turner thinks about it. I think about
I
it. And
I
so
want your feedback.
that's everything to us. So just thank you, customers. Thank you guys for being on this call. We know how busy you guys are. We're gonna do a quick product recap. So all the things that we've launched in the past that maybe you don't know about, some brand examples. This is like things that customers are using that we're excited about. Sometimes customers surprise us with their use cases, and our CSM teams are always come up with new ideas, and it works. So we want to show you kind of what's working with other customers. Turner's going to go into a roadmap update, and then always Q&A. Ask your most loaded questions. We're not scared of them, so feel free to ask them. No, and feel free to put in the chat as we go too. Marissa's going to be compiling all of them. So we're going to be recording it. We'll send out a recording so you can share it with your coworkers. We have a Q&A feature as well. So if you guys want to use that Q&A feature in the Zoom, feel free to do that. And then if we don't answer your questions, because we got to ask someone else on our team, we will get back to you on it over email. But I will answer every question. So there's no bad questions. Every question will be answered. Also, we discuss stuff in our product plans in the future. Some stuff we might have to delay because something comes up. So I want you to know that everything that we talk about is our current plan, but sometimes they might slip a little bit due to unforeseen stuff. So just want to put a little disclaimer there. All right, so I want to do a quick recap. And first, again, thank you guys for attending. One big feature that we launched that just people went nuts for is this align feature. So what you can do is now you can drag any element. Doesn't matter if it's a text, doesn't matter if it's a button, doesn't matter if it's a date picker. You can align it to different elements on the page. So in this example, you're aligning this button to this text, but you can also center align it. We also have snap to grid, so we can kind of snap it to a specific grid element. My favorite is, aligning the submit button to like where the logo is, so it shows you exactly where it needs to be. And so the align one, I love it. And so definitely check it out if you haven't been using it. Toggle it on because if you have an older campaign, it's toggled off. So just toggle it on for everything. In my opinion, it's a huge thing. I can't imagine my life without it now. It's one of those things. All right, we really doubled down on our quizzes, in specifically the results page. So first thing we did was we added multiple result pages. So sometimes you have one result page doesn't cut it because you want very specific information that displays on different result pages. Maybe you have different recommendations you want to give, different text. Maybe you want to personalize it differently based on their answers. So we offer pretty much unlimited result pages. Honestly, most people get away with just 5 or 6. That's probably what I recommend. And so you can have different results pages that's governed by the quiz, which is pretty exciting. So you don't have to have one static result page. You can have multiple ones. And remember, the result page itself is also dynamic. So you can have multiple result pages that are also dynamic. The other cool thing that we did is we have a new section in the results page setting where you can always display recommended products. Now this is really important because if you want to make sure you recommend these are the recommendations you give at the bottom, you can say always recommend these 3 products. What's cool about it, we have logic so that if you're already recommending it based on the quiz, we can automatically not display that always on display recommendation as well. This is great for things like add all to cart, right? So increasing average order value. If you know someone always needs like a battery, for example, just always display that along with the product. That's always a nice one as well. If you know you always have a hot seller, right? You know one product just sells like 90% of the time. Let's just include it all the time, right? That's your top seller. Make sure we display that as well. And then another big thing is element level styling on the results page. So before you have to use custom CSS, now we have, drag and drop. You can click the color value, the font value, and you can style it. And then when you duplicate, if let's say you have multiple result pages, if you duplicate the result page, it'll inherit all of those as well. So that's kind of a nice feature. Now we still have the custom CSS ability if you want to take it to the next level, but this is a nice like drag and drop setting that you can do. So it all is on brand and it's non-technical. This is one of my favorite reports that I feel like is underutilized, and it's drop off reporting. And there's so many things with drop off reporting, right? So there's so many decisions you can make with drop off reporting. So let's say you have like a 10-question quiz. We want to know where they're dropping off, and so you could see where people are dropping off in the quiz. And there's a decisions that you want to make when they're dropping off. So if you're seeing something more than like 10% a drop off, there's all these things that we should do. One, we should have potentially cleaner copy. Maybe they're confused. Maybe we remove the multi-select. I love auto progression. So when you click on the button, it just moves to the next question. Just moves auto progresses to the next question. We remove that thinking fatigue. Now, if it's under 10%, I think it's okay. It's how you want to be scrutinize it. Or maybe you have to add an FAQ. Maybe you want to add more images. Maybe the text is too long in the buttons. Let's shorten those potentially. So there's all these things that we could think about if the drop off is hurting you. And definitely email us. We could actually take a look at your drop off and we could say, hey, I think this is okay. Hey, I think this is bad. I love removing questions. It's funny. We have a client that has a 60 question quiz and they have no drop off, right? So it is client dependent. It's quiz dependent. But then we have some people that have a 6-question quiz, and there's a ton of drop offs. So we'd like to figure that out. Sometimes it's also based on traffic source. So we have another report where you can see the traffic source as well and like where people are coming from. And maybe we want to have two quizzes. So if you have two quizzes based on the traffic source with our rules, you can actually decide two different quizzes based on two different traffic sources. So for example, we see a lot of drop offs sometimes if it's through paid acquisition. And if it's through organic, we see very little drop offs. So those are things that we should test for, look for, and potentially have multiple quizzes for as well. The other thing is reorder it. Maybe you're not asking the right question up front, and then leverage our branching to skip like 6 questions. So that's another kind of interesting thing that we can do to remove funnel drop off. And this report kind of just says it all. So I recommend kind of checking it out and looking at your quiz results and looking at the drop off. Now, once we diagnose, hey, there is an issue with the quiz, the first thing we want to do is probably also A/B test. Like maybe it's not a traffic problem, maybe it's not a quiz problem, maybe it's not a question problem, but let's test our hypothesis. So you can actually now not only test, pop-ups, you can also test the quiz, but you can also test the results page. So looking down from the funnel, they land on the results page. Why are they leaving the results page and they're not making a purchase? So with our analytics, we actually have a 24-hour attribution window. So if they make a purchase from the quiz, we can let you know that with our GA4 integration, but let's A/B test the results page as well. In addition, we should have an exit intent pop-up if they don't make a purchase on that session on the results page. So that's another kind of thing that we should also add to increase conversions on the results page. But again, very powerful that you can now A/B test results pages as well. You can also do a traffic split. So for example, if you're seeing great results, but you want to test things out, maybe you do a 90-10 split, so all your traffic isn't just going to one quiz. The way we think about quizzes is that it can't be a set it and forget it strategy. We should always be optimizing it, always be thinking about it, always thinking about where the traffic is coming from as well. It's a full funnel look that you want to think about with your result pages as well as your quizzes. Huge feature that we added. So if you're on the Shopify platform, one thing we just added is the ability to target based on Shopify data. So if you're using our Shopify app, which you can install, you could target all sorts of Shopify data. So one is if they're logged into Shopify or not. So this is pretty powerful. If they're not logged into Shopify, and if you're also using Klaviyo and they're unknown to Klaviyo, maybe we're a little bit more aggressive with our offers, our first-time offers. And so you can also combine this with, traffic source, where they're coming from, if they're in the US. Based on that, maybe we offer a better free shipping discount. Maybe those guys get free shipping automatically. Those are things that we can easily A/B test and kind of do with these Shopify rules as well as these Klaviyo rules. Expanding on that Shopify use case, this is where it's really cool. You can actually target based on number of items in the cart and the amount in the cart. So for example, if you do have a free shipping offer that's over $100, they meet that threshold and they're leaving, let's remind them of the free shipping offer. That's where it gets kind of exciting. Or you can do banners based on that free shipping offer as well. You can take it further as well. If there's $0 in the cart, they're a first-time visitor, let's trigger something else. So there's a lot of things you can do with the Shopify targeting. We can also, it's not displayed on this here, but you can also target based on actual items in the cart as well. So if you have a hot seller that's under like $100 and the free shipping threshold is over $100, we can actually say, hey, you should add this to your cart potentially to get the free shipping. So there's all sorts of fun things that you can do with our Shopify targeting rules now. Check it out. It's very exciting and play with it. So yeah, I kind of talked about these on the last slide. You could target based on free shipping, target on exit based on the shipping threshold or the amount threshold, create an upsell prompt. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with our cart rules, Shopify cart rules. If you're not on Shopify and you have a custom stuff, if it's in the data layer, if it's in a cookie, if we can read it somehow, it's also possible, requires custom code as well. So let us know if you're not on Shopify so we can write a little custom condition for you guys. All right. First giveaway, Wayfair. I'd love to announce. So everybody, if you haven't shopped at Wayfair, definitely check them out. Take their quiz if you could find it. Wonderful customer of ours. And Marissa has already picked the first winner. I want to announce the winner. It's Shannon Kelly. Shannon, you get the $100 gift card Wayfair. Summer's coming up. Buy some new patio furniture maybe. If you haven't heard of Wayfair, they have the best furniture. So congrats, Shannon. And Marissa will be in touch with you on that gift card. So exciting. And by the way, we're doing this with engagement. So if you're going to ask questions in the chat, I think that's how we're determining the winners. So thank you, Marissa, for helping me out with that. All right, we're always launching new themes. So if you go to your account, I love going to our account, just browsing our themes. Mother's Day is coming up, launch a Mother's Day sale. Get new emails. And then when you get this email, don't just add it to your email account. Obviously, add it and create all the flows, but make sure you tag it as, hey, this person is interested in the Mother's Day sale. So next year, you could send that email or SMS blast to you already have that memory now in your system. And so don't think of this as a one-time seasonal thing. I think of it as, hey, I'm going to tag it correctly. I'm going to get this contact. I'm going to add the zero priority data that, hey, they're into Mother's Day sales. And that way I have that as a ready-to-go list for the future. I love seasonal stuff. Now, it could be a pop-up, it could be embedded form. It could just be like a click to action. Hey, get reminders. I love Mother's Day reminders. That's something I never want to miss. I have it on my calendar. I have my favorite stores on it as well. And so we have tons of themes and templates. So if you missed out our campaign styles and our account styles, if you already had that set up with your fonts and colors, taking a theme and then applying it is very easy and very quick now. It automatically can have your design branding in there. If there is a theme that you also want to see, let us know. We are hungry to build new themes. So if there's like a specific type of seasonality that you have or something that you want to see, we want it. We crave it. So let us know. These do really well, by the way. We've seen really good results with seasonal type offers. Huge way to capture more emails, keep things fresh as well. Another kind of cool thing is tie in our spin to win with the seasonality. So hey, see what you can win for your mom. That could be an interesting kind of campaign that you put together. Embedded forms, our inline forms, I feel like are some of the most underutilized feature in our platform, but just extremely powerful. And so we added this way to, so if you inject us on the page with our inline form, it'll now expand to the full width of whatever you inject it in or whatever you place it in. Very powerful. And it runs with our same JavaScript that's already powering your quizzes and pop-ups and other things on your site. And so this is our embedded forms. We just made it a lot easier, made it look a lot better. So if you add like a custom color, hex color, it'll just fan out to that entire page. Just looks way more polished. And it's perfectly responsive now, which is kind of cool. Now you can also build with specific dimensions if you want. Maybe you don't want a background image for mobile and you just and you do want one for desktop. You can easily do that too in our system now, which is exciting. Now, I like inline forms for a lot of different reasons. One, you could inject it without, so I think we go with this next slide. We could add it directly on your category page. So, like if you think about quizzes or embedded forms, you don't want to add a bunch of custom HTML on your site. If our JavaScript's on the site, we can actually look at all your CSS classes on your site and just inject it virtually. We don't need any developer involvement in that, which is kind of exciting. You can also A/B test placements. So here's like a mini quiz. A lot of people use it for their like homepage placements, but you can also use it for hey, on a category page or the left rail of your blog, for example. And it could drive to like an ebook. You could drive to a specific PDP page, taken to like a where they're gonna make a purchase. And you could A/B test all of this as well. We still have 24-hour attribution on this. So if someone clicks on this, makes a purchase, you could see that data in GA as well. And remember, when they click on this, there's a few things happening. So in this example, let's say they click on back pain. One, we're going to send that to GA4. You could take that data and turn that into an audience and then retarget based on it as well, whether we capture the email or not. That's a very powerful audience targeting thing that you could do today without capturing email. Now, if we capture the email in the next step, even better. Now we're going to go to your ESP, and then you could trigger back pain based on that. Now you know a little bit more about them. And then we also have things like branching as well. So they click back pain. Let's ask some additional questions on that as well. So very powerful where you can embed things on your site. And we have a lot of customers that go crazy with this. They have hundreds of embedded forms and they're using this for call to actions and all sorts of other things as well. And then remember, Digioh also supports things like custom HTML and custom JavaScript. So there's a lot you can do with it if you're a little savvy in that area. Here's another cool one. We have a few clients that really leverage this in so many different ways. Every element of this pop-up can be controlled dynamically. So for example, this text, this text right here, this button, this image, everything can be dynamically changed. And you could customize it how to. We call this dynamic items in our platform. So it's not just pop-ups, it's actually any campaign that you have in Digioh. It could be embedded, it could be a sidebar, it could be a banner. We love it when people use it in pop-ups though too. It's just crazy high converting. And some use cases for this, and I'll come back to this image. Some use case for this, like publishers, maybe there's like a WordPress tag on your site. So we had a very big health publisher. And so if someone says, a specific type of thing, we can automatically adjust this picture to based on that health condition, this tagline, this text. And when they enter their email, we can also pass it to a different integration as well, or different zero-party data to a specific list as well. So there's a lot you can do there as well, and all dynamically controlled in Digioh too. And you can specify it. And we also have fallbacks. So let's say we don't find that WordPress tag or that element on the page. We have a fallback. Hey, sign up for our newsletter. The other thing we could do is any UTM parameters or URL parameters. So for example, if let's say you have an influencer, let's say I'm your influencer, Rishi. What you could do is, hey, we grab Rishi and we could dynamically completely change this. Say, Rishi is giving you $30 off your first inbox. And so we'll dynamically pull Rishi from the URL and put Rishi in here. And this could be a picture of me going like, hey, buy your first Commenteer subscription. By the way, these guys have amazing coffee. So definitely check them out. It's free. It's frozen coffee, fresh. So get their subscription as well. And so there's a lot of things you can do here. The third thing, so if you're not exploring dynamic campaigns, this could be huge for you guys. And then the category specific is really interesting too. Let's say you have like hundreds of categories. We could actually grab the breadcrumb of the category or the URL of the category and dynamically change it. And so we say, instead of saying $10 off site wide, we could say $10 off all footwear or all boots, very specific to that category. This is a cool launch. Shout out to my team for this. You can now, we took all of our help docs, all of our knowledge, all of our internal docs, and we created a ChatGPT assistant. So you can go into ChatGPT and you can ask all sorts of questions, right? Like you can even take screenshots of your analytics. Hey, what should I do next? How do I target this pop-up for the and I use this myself. Sometimes customers ask me for strategy. I'll put together something. I use the microphone button and I'll talk to it. Here's what's going on. What do you think of this? And there's no PII data here, just so you're aware. We're not sending any email data. It's just pure screenshots and asking a question through our help docs. We also uploaded all of our strategy docs as well. So we uploaded a ton of information in here, what's working, what's not. And so you could talk to it as well and talk to it like, hey, what else should I be doing with my pop-ups? What else should I be doing with Digioh? What should I run for my A/B test? Have you help it come up with questions and answers as well. So this is pretty cool. If you haven't played around with it, let me know. I would love to play around with it with you and kind of show you what I'm doing with it. Okay, we have leveled up our security stance tenfold. Security, security, security. Now, AI, going back to this slide, AI has been the greatest blessing and the greatest curse at the same time. The blessing has been all this instant euphoric knowledge that we didn't have before. Honestly, I run my life through AI now, on a personal level as well as a work level. But there's a ton of AI bots, ton of vulnerabilities getting exposed, and so we've really leveled up our stance on security, not just on an internal point, but we've also added a lot of other tools, third-party tools as well. So one big one was Cloudflare bot management. The whole industry has been, especially forums, has been hit with just tons of AI bots. Things like Outlook emails, Hotmail emails, AOL, a lot of junk emails. Now, the goal for us is, we want to increase conversions. So if you add a CAPTCHA, it immediately reduces conversions. You gotta like click on like, what looks like a car. I get them wrong half the time. And so our first step was like, how do we kind of reduce these bots without the CAPTCHA? And so we added Cloudflare bot management, which has been really good. We immediately saw a massive decrease in this. Now there is when you configure Cloudflare bot management, there is a threshold of human to bot ratio, and so that was we're always kind of tweaking with that, but we've gotten really successful with this. This has been a huge thing for us, and it's also kept us away from annoying CAPTCHAs. Now, Cloudflare bot management reduces 99% of junk bots or AI bots. It's been very effective. Now, there is that 1%, so I'm going to talk about that in a second, but this has been a huge thing that we've added across all of our campaigns, and this is running across everything. So it's a seamless integration. You don't have to do anything. Just want to let you know about it. Now, in that 1% case, now we have massive customers that do sweepstakes. So with sweepstakes, you're gonna get a lot of that. People, there's gonna be a lot of bad actors there. While we actually can configure Cloudflare bot management on a campaign by campaign basis, like level it up a little bit, what we do next is we add a Cloudflare turnstile. So we added this as a next level layer of security as well as bot management. And it's a verification tool. So it's not like reCAPTCHA in that you have to click on the car, what looks like a car, but it's kind of like a verification tool. So it's kind of like a CAPTCHA where it is a checkbox, but not as annoying as the reCAPTCHA. Now can be enabled on a per client basis. So if you have both of these, especially if you're doing things like sweepstakes, we do recommend that. Or you have a lot of traffic, or maybe you're seeing something and we're unable to like detect it with bot management. This is a custom thing, so you'll have to email us and we'll set it up for you. Your CSM or the support team can set that up for you as well. So this is a big deal to us. All right, then the third thing we got, and shout out to Patrick for this one, the honeypot guard. So the way this works is, there's a checkbox here. So this is what the bot sees. The bot sees this checkbox and click this checkbox. What your customers see, a human will see, they won't see this at all. And so it's a honeypot. So our whole thinking is that, and this has been really effective for a few customers, where the bot will think, hey, I gotta check this box. And then we know, hey, if it checked this box, we know it's a bot because the end user actually doesn't see this. So they won't actually check this box. This has been really effective as well. And so we can use a variety of these. We recommend either the turnstile or the honeypot. We like the honeypot as a first start because it's really easy to set up. And then if you really need it, turn on the turnstile. Oh, big announcement here. We have Heather Barron, who joined us about 3 weeks. Can't believe it's only been 3 weeks. It feels like forever now. Heather has been an amazing addition to the team. She is our VP of engineering. She is a previous co-founder, previous CTO, uh, tons of experience in e-commerce and AI. We are shifting towards, the AI world as well. And so we're excited to bring Heather on as our VP of engineering leader. It's been incredible to work with her. She immediately brought on multiple new people as well to the team in our engineering orgs. We're very excited. She's so organized, and she's, behind the scenes, we're always trying to get so much stuff launched. And so it's been just a pleasure. Um, she has the e-commerce background, which I loved. She has that founder mentality as well, which I love, just getting stuff done. Let's just ship stuff out. Let's get things out the door. But she also understands stability. She understands how to manage a larger team. So it's been incredible. I just wanted to welcome her to the team. You're going to see so many great things that we've already been doing for the last 3 weeks. You'll probably see some of that in the next few weeks or months. So it's been an incredible honor to work with her. And kind of Digio has grown so much. So we've been around for 14 years. The engineering org has grown so much, and it's nice to have people that have been there, done that, and get that leadership on our team as well. So just very excited to have Heather. If you haven't met her, you should meet her. She's absolutely an amazing leader in addition to our team. So this is a new ebook that we launched. When people think about identification, they think about a lot of things. They think about, anonymous visitors. They think about de-anonymizing visitors on your site, anonymous traffic, third-party networks grabbing data and passing it through. And we think about all that stuff too, but the main thing we think about is how you can activate an identification. And so this ebook, it's real examples, stuff that has worked. I recommend downloading it. So I think Marissa's going to put in the chat, downloading it and actually uploading it to ChatGPT, um, and then asking it, "Hey, what should I be doing here?" So there are specific examples of how we leverage identification to accelerate conversion on their site. So, for example, here's a great example. Once someone takes a quiz, we can actually inject their quiz results on every PDB page. So that's a brilliant example that's increased conversions that we can do, right? So especially if we have that size information, just display it in every PDB page. This is the size that you need. Very easy thing to do. Here's another one. Like if we know that they're known, right? Let's not ask for their email address again. Let's just give them checkout now with the timer. If we don't know they're known, let's just get their 10% off, right? Let's be a little bit more aggressive. Let's do things on exit, on entrance. Let's get that first time visitor in, especially if it's a very transactional business. Let's be really aggressive on the first visit. Now, if you're not, if it's kind of a subscription business, let's not be as aggressive. So those are the kinds of things you can do with kind of identification in our rules. There's a lot of use cases here. These are just two of probably 20 in there that I recommend you guys do. And these are all things that we've seen work. So these are not things that we're just brainstorming. We've seen works. We saw the results. We looked at the analytics. We also talk about measuring. How do you even go about measuring this? So I highly recommend just reading through this. We spent a lot of time, Marissa spent a lot of time working with the CSM team, the support team, looking at brand examples, and putting this deck together. And you can read through this in 20 minutes. So I'll just download it and just read it in a quick session. All right, my favorite part of this presentation is the brand examples, and all of this is in that ebook as well. All right, so this is Press Juice, an amazing health juice brand. If you don't have a press near you, you can order it online as well. If you have a press and if you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. Now, there's a few things I wanted to highlight here. So this is the first one. With our identification rules, if they're unknown and they have an item in the cart, you can say, "Hey, get 10% off." If they are unknown and no items in the cart, you can say, "Hey, take the quiz as well." This could be a pop-up as well. If they're known, "Hey, we know who they are. They've been to the site before, and they have items in the cart. Let's get them right to checkout." Maybe your checkout is multiple steps and they don't know there's something in check. Let's remind them. So this can be an exit, this can be an entrance. So these are key brand things that you can do with our identification. Exit intent, I think, is one of the highest converting things you can do on site to increase email capture and conversions. So if you're not leveraging exit intent in this way with identification, It's something you should add on today. Um, Here's another one, Mockingbird, great strollers. Um, Now, we actually went into, we took screenshots of the actual rules. Hey, they're on the specific URL. They're not on the quiz page. They're on the quiz start page, and they haven't filled out these other forms. So let's embed this. Hey, take our quiz on the homepage. So this is a homepage creative, and this is our using our inline, kind of talking about what our inline. If they do take the quiz, they're coming back in. Let's show a banner at the top of the page and say, hey, take them back to the quiz results to make their purchase. So we could say, look, they've taken the quiz, they have made a purchase. Now a stroller purchase is a big purchase. So it's not something that you can expect someone to do right away. You want to talk to your spouse about it. It's a $300 plus purchase. You're going to think about it. And so if they're back on your site, let's show them this banner as well. Hey, your quiz results are waiting for you. Now, obviously, we're going to email them these results too. That's usually the third highest converting email. But let's get them back into the quiz results to make that purchase. And then pre-quiz. If we know that they don't have this banner automatically can change to be like, hey, take our quiz, right? Especially if they're a first-time visitor. Let's get them into the quiz. We have seen results where the average organic visitor, I'm going to say organic visitor that comes to your site is 3 to 7 times more likely to make a purchase if they go through the quiz versus if they don't. So that's kind of what gets us excited. Here's another one. This is Sculpt Society, amazing workouts, a customer of ours. They change the messaging. So they have multiple messaging and it's embedded. They change the messaging based on who they are on the visitor, right? So in this case, based on your quiz results, we recommend the advanced classes, right? So maybe they're a newbie. This will completely change based on that. And we definitely want to get them into the free trial, right? The whole goal for us is to make sure you're seeing revenue, getting them into free trials, clicking on your CTAs. So you can actually adjust all of this messaging based on previous quiz questions. Now, it doesn't have to be a full-on quiz. It could be a mini quiz. As long as they click on any button, we have that data that we can action on. They don't have to, in this case, they don't even have to answer, put in an email address, right? Any quiz question we could turn into targeting rules here as well. I love this example. Fulton Shoes, amazing shoe brand, especially if you have back pain. Check it out. There's just soles that you put in your shoe and it works with most shoes. This is a mini quiz. This is a three-step quiz. Most people think of quizzes as like a longer quiz, self-selection. You can have both. You can have a longer quiz and you can have a short, and this could be a homepage placement. So you're capturing the zero-party data here with branching, and then you're showing it right away. So we call it a quick pick product finder. If you go to our theme section in Digioh, you will also find a category called mini quiz as well. Branching is another beautiful thing with our quizzes, where if based on what you select, we can completely change what they're asking. So for example, are you buying a gift? Yes. Let's guess who are they buying for, and then go back into the same funnel. So if you're not leveraging branching in some of your quizzes, you could lengthen the quiz, you could change the questions based on that as well. We have an exciting thing. We have lots of different customers. They're referring customers all the time. Thank you, by the way. That is the lifeblood of this business, and that's what keeps us going. Um, but now we're like, hey, we should pay you. Like, yeah, we understand what your word means. So anytime you refer us, we're gonna give you $250. If they become a customer, we're gonna give you $750. And that means a lot to us. First, the fact that you even trust us is amazing. And then if you refer someone, we're gonna build out a free prototype for them. We're gonna give them a strategy session before they even sign up. So as long as they come to us, they give us a demo. We're rolling out a new customer referral program. And thank you. This is really just a thank you. I know you guys will refer them regardless, but we just want to say thank you for your time, your effort, writing that intro email. We're gonna put a form. Oh, it looks like Marissa already put a form in the chat. And just we appreciate you. So this is a way of showing our appreciation. There's no cap to this. So if you recommend 3 people, they sign up for a demo, but they don't become a customer, you still get the 250 times 3 as well. I want to so this is our giveaway. So we got our prize giveaway number 2, Equator Coffee. I'm actually drinking it right now, by the way. Um, I love Equator Coffee. I like it because it's less acidic, actually. Maybe I'm getting old, but it's amazing coffee. They have great flavors. Actually, last night I had it at SFO as well. So We see if you're in the Bay Area, you'll see it as well every now and then. I love their online. They have an amazing quiz to find the perfect blend. I love using quizzes like this as well. So we're gonna say Gab Saletti for the next prize, Equator Coffees. Gab, take the quiz and tell us what you got as well, and we'd love to send you a $100 gift card for coffee. So congrats. All right, I'm gonna hand it over now to Turner.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Rishi. And I'll just say next slide when I'm ready. But hey, everyone, I am Turner. I lead product here at Digio. I've met many of you on the call, but still making the rounds. I've only been here for 5 months. And in that 5 month window of time, like I said, I've been able to chat with many people on this call, learn about your businesses, your challenges, what you love about Digio, what you don't love about Digio. And like I said earlier, like I love that feedback. It makes my job so much easier. So open offer. If you want to chat with me, if you want to share candid feedback at any time, please reach out to your CSM and I would love to chat. But let's dive into the roadmap items we got coming. So identity, Digio Passport. These are core areas that we're investing in, and everything that Rishi talked about, all the on-site personalization, it's really powered by understanding who's on site. And we understand that that's an important part of getting a return on your ad spend. It's hard, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes money to get people to your site. And so when someone gets there, we want to make that the best experience for them possible. So we're constantly trying to find ways to improve our identification solution, looking at all this data that you have and that we have access to get better performance. And so with that, next slide. We know that when someone gets to your site and we can identify them, it leads to a few main things. Right? We can offer better on-site experiences. Everything that Rishi showed, all those different personalized ways, those are better experiences. And people love that, right? They want to be treated a certain way. They want to be treated like, hey, if I'm an existing customer, you know it's me and I'm seeing something personal to me. That ultimately leads to stronger retention as well, right? Like, hey, I feel an affinity for this brand. They know who I am. They show me certain things. They give me recommendations. They love that. And this ultimately leads to higher conversions. And for us, conversions most times for a lot of people means purchases. But if you're a publisher and you're like, hey, for me, conversions is signing up for newsletters, going to specific articles, reading specific content, like that is a conversion to us. And we support all of this as well. And then something we'll talk about in a moment is how do we help with all this identification to help with your downstream lifecycle marketing, right? Right. Once we know someone's on site, who they are, we can also understand what they're doing. And I'll quick call out that for Digio Passport, it is the underlying tool that helps enable all this personalization. And right now, we have it for the 5 providers at the bottom of the screen: Klaviyo, Braze, Ometria, Iterable, and Dot Digital. If you're a customer and you're using Digio and you have one of those ESPs, but you're not using Digio Passport, you're leaving money on the table. And so I would highly encourage you to reach out to your CSMs and start enabling those and unlocking a ton of great use cases that like Rishi showed earlier. So I want to just give a quick call out to that. But to move to the next slide, we want to continue growing that list of available ESPs where we can pull in data from those platforms to give those rich on-site experiences. And the next one on our list is Attentive. And so Attentive, I'm sure many of you all have heard of, is one of the big players in the space, email and SMS provider. We know that that's a big demand from a lot of our existing customers and prospective customers. And so if you're actively on Attentive or you're considering switching to them, just know that we're building in that direction as well this quarter. And that means, hey, if you already love some of the capabilities you get with Digio and like a Klaviyo and you move to Attentive, you're going to be able to have those same capabilities there soon. So hopefully if you're an Attentive customer on this call, this is very exciting news for you. Next slide. Now, one thing that we talked about in our Q1 webinar, and we're going to talk about more today, is these on-site events that we're able to pick up. And I just talked about this a couple slides ago. We know who's on site, and we also know what they're doing. Are they viewing specific pages and products? Are they adding products to cart? Are they making purchases? This is all really great first-party data that we have access to. And so over the last quarter, we've been working with about a dozen customers that are on Shopify and using Klaviyo to pick up these events on site. And then what we're ultimately seeing is, in some cases, a 15 to 20% higher lift in events that we're detecting versus other providers. What this ultimately means is that we're actually able to send 15 to 20% more triggers to Klaviyo for 15 to 20% more flows and ultimately the messaging there. That's a huge revenue unlock right there, just because we're already on site and we're picking up all this data. So our goal later this quarter is to remove that beta flag and make this generally available to all customers of ours that are on Shopify and Klaviyo. So hopefully, if you're on that tech stack, very exciting to hear. Now, you might be saying, hey, I'm not on either one of those, or I'm on one and not both. Well, the ultimate goal and where we want to go longer term, and the next step from that is removing the Shopify and that Klaviyo dependency. We understand a lot of our customers on this call don't have that tech stack. And so we want to enable and empower you as well. So that'll allow, we'll be actually pulling in data from headless storefronts, non-Shopify storefronts, if it's like a big commerce, or picking up more events on site. And then where are we going to send them? Well, not just Klaviyo. We'll be sending them to other systems like Inattentive, like Iterable, like Braze. So having this full agnostic approach to the value that we're bringing for a subset of customers now, we're going to unlock for all of our customers, which is hopefully very exciting. And again, it's just more revenue for you. And to round out and tell the full story is reporting. One piece of feedback I get from customers, I get from the internal team is, hey, we know great things are happening, but it's hard to tell in the reporting. It's a very common piece of feedback I get. And so we want to spend some time to make our identification reporting as a phase one to our reporting, but focus on our identification reporting to get it in a better spot and state. And so next slide, please. These are some early mock-ups. They're not set in stone, but ultimately what my call out here would be to you is that, as I talked about earlier, having an open offer to chat with customers. I would love to chat with you. If you're saying, hey, Digioh, you're about to make some investment in your reporting specific to identification, I've got ideas. And that's great. I would love to chat with you. We're in the early stages of putting these mock-ups together, but the goal is to make it a no-brainer that when you're using Digioh and you're using our identification tools, that you know the value you're getting. You can go to your CFO and say, hey, the investment in Digioh is real and it makes sense. Like that's the goal we have. And we want to make it a no-brainer. So I offer my time. If you'd like to chat, if you want to share ideas, always here. And next slide. And that rounds it out for me. Hopefully everyone's excited about some of the great things that we're rolling out over the next couple of months. And with that, Rishi, I will pass it back to you.
Yeah, this is big for us. So, for us, we want to know what you want to know. So you can email me and Turner. You can set up a call. We can send you some of these screenshots, and you can tell us kind of exactly what you want to see. I had a great conversation with the client last night. They told me exactly what they need to see to prove value to their team. Those are the kind of information that we would love because that'll help us like figure out the dashboard that you need. So yeah, so definitely take us up on that offer. I know a lot of you have my email. Turner is just turner@digioh.com as well. We love this feedback. We love to workshop on it. So let us know that it's an open invitation. With that, one thing we are doing internally is we are building out a Digioh MCP. And so we already built a read mode of this. This allows us to read data, understand data, structure data, use our playbooks along with conversion data, campaign data. And it's been just so insightful. So we have internal tooling with our Digioh MCP to really help clients out with their biggest questions. How can I increase conversions? What's happening with Digioh and my site? And so it's been very exciting. So we've been also investing heavily in our MCP server. And so our goal is over the next 6 months is that we have the ability to share our read mode, which has been fascinating already. And then also eventually a create mode. So it can create campaigns, automatically create campaign styles. And then you can lock in your styling, and then it can automatically update conditions for you, your display rules for you. And so we are really excited exploring this. We've seen just massive wins internally with this. We're giving it to we're in a phase one. We're giving it to our internal team to support you guys, and then eventually, when we're ready, we want to give it to our customers as well. But we're currently in phase one right now, and it's very exciting. One of the most exciting things I've done in my career. And so excited to tell you that we are investing heavily into this. The MCP can read no PIA data. It can't be locked out all PIA data. It's really just high level metrics, campaign data, like what's in the campaign itself, what the display rules are. And so we're hoping we can really accelerate. The cool thing about the Digio MCP is that it can also write custom code. So you can really do a lot with it. So we talked a little about like inline forms. So that's been exciting. Like just being able to do really anything inside a box has been huge. Would it be able to help updating dynamic items? Absolutely. Yeah, that is the eventual goal. It doesn't today. Right now, it's really just reading the campaigns, the display rules, assessing things. But yeah, our goal is to have the MCP across the entire product. We have a very exciting webinar coming up. Klaviyo is throwing it, and they invited us to be a part of it. How leading brands find hidden revenue. So, kind of the things that I talked about, but more in detail. Like, what are some brands doing to just get more revenue, optimize revenue? Rachel asked on the MCP, will it make optimization sessions? Yes. It's amazing in that way. So it can figure out ABC tests to try out. It can tell you if this wins, why it wins. So it's been very exciting from the few tests that I've done with it. Rachel, if you want to ping us later, I can kind of show you kind of the stuff that I'm seeing there. If you are available on April 29th, I highly recommend joining this webinar. We're joined by Yotpo. They're like a number one review platform. Arcadia is an amazing agency on conversions. Loop returns. All great people on how to unlock revenue. Loop is great if you're in the subscription business. Get the recording, get on the registration if you don't. Klaviyo is throwing it, and we're part of it, which is exciting, and it's nice to be invited to that.